Hello everybody, Creeping Creeper 22 here, and in today's video I would like to discuss a change that I think would make Undetectable a really solid status effect in Dead by Daylight. Now, let's start with what I want. I simply want when any killer goes undetectable, the volume of them walking and the volume of their natural noises should be lowered on those noises when they become undetectable. And how loud they should be is about the same level of Ghostface. How with Ghostface, if you're making sure you're listening, you can still hear him. But if you're not paying attention, you're not going to hear him. It's only if you're actively trying to hear him, you'll be able to hear him. Now, the reason why I want this is because I think that Undetectable has too many variables right now. And I feel like if you just make all killers quieter when they go undetectable, it would breathe new life into this game. And when I say that, what I mean is, for example, think about it right now, it can add a new playstyle to almost every killer. For example, instead of hooking a survivor and then immediately going to one gen, you might be like, okay, I have an undetectable build and I'm very quiet. So instead, I'm going to learn how to maneuver myself and hide myself so I can get jump scare hits essentially. So it would add honestly, a new playstyle to a lot of killers, which is a sneaky playstyle. And it would add a new playstyle for survivors where, okay, any killer can be sneaky, so I need to make sure I'm listening out. It would even add a new chase style because not a lot of killers are undetectable in this game. So if you give all killers the ability with builds, right? It's not like a natural undetectable, but the chance to have undetectable builds. It now adds, once again, killers are going to have a new playstyle. Like, I think legitimately almost every killer will have a new playstyle, which is a sneaky playstyle that they can use. And survivors will now have a new, essentially, chase style where they're not like looking for red stain that ain't always going to work now. And now you have to actually learn to look for the killer themselves, which I think will be a really good addition to Dead by Daylight. And the reason why I think it wouldn't be too strong, if I'm being honest, is because Undetectable naturally isn't that strong. It's strong to get a first hit, and then that's right about it. Because once you get that first hit, they're dipping. It's going to be stronger, but it's not going to be too strong in my opinion. Because, as I said, normally at most you get that first hit with Undetectable, and then you start chasing like you normally would. You might even have Undetectable still while you're in that chase. But as I said, it's not like you're taking away their ability to run away from you. Some of the things, the reason why I would like this change is because even now, or even with this buff, open maps are not going to be that good unless, as I said, unless killers learn freaking new ways to hide themselves, which I think would be a really good new playstyle of like killers actively always trying to hide themselves. I think that would be a great playstyle for most killers. But open maps are undetectable. It's not going to be that viable because you can still see the killer. It's just they're quieter. But it would also, in my opinion, give a huge buff to killers on indoor maps. And mind you, most indoor maps are survivor-sided, so it'll allow Undetectable to be used in these indoor maps and potentially maybe even turn the tides of these being survivor-sided. I don't think they will I think these maps will still be survivor-sided, but it at least gives killers a new opportunity to win in these maps. In conclusion, to like really repeat everything I've said, but way more condensed. When killers go undetectable, the volume of their walking and their just natural sounds to be lower to the point where they're about Ghostface. So with Ghostface, as I said, you can still hear him, but you can only really hear him if you're actively trying to hear him. That's what I think killers' noises should be when they're undetectable. But their weapon animations or their weapon noises shouldn't be lowered. So, for example, Wraith dinging his bell, that shouldn't be lowered. Springtrap pulling up his axe, how he laughs, that shouldn't be lowered. The new Vecna, when you about to bring up the tentacles from the floor, that like ding noise, that shouldn't be lowered. Just their natural walking and like just their natural noises, if that makes sense. I think with this change, it would honestly breathe new life into Dead by Daylight, as I said, because it would add a new playstyle to almost every killer that is a more sneaky playstyle. And I'm not gonna lie, it would actually make Survivor harder, but I feel like it would make it harder in a good way, where survivors now have to like Instead of just doing a gen, now they're always going to be on edge and only have to listen out to see if the killer's coming. It adds a horror aspect to the game. And lastly, why do I not think it'll be that strong is because you can only get the jump on a survivor once. You know, if they're fully healed and you hit them while undetectable, they're running away. You know what I mean? So you get that first hit, but it's not you're downing them left and right because of the undetectable. You get that, you're able to sneak up on them, get that first hit, but not necessarily the second hit, if that makes sense. So I think it'd be a really, really good change. But let me know what you guys think. I think it'll be a shorter video today, but as always, if you like, leave a like. If you dislike, leave a dislike. If any way I can improve my content, let me know down there in the comment section below. And I'll see all you lovely people on the flip side. Peace out.
Inside lane, missing exits, glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I'll keep my gaze straight ahead as the last stop flies by.